Starfield is Bethesda Game Studios' up-and-coming RPG/open-world game slated to release in 2023. Now this game is, and has been, highly anticipated, especially given all the hype that's been surrounding it ever since its announcement, which was at E3 2018 by the way, announced alongside the Fallout 76 presentation. We've gotten bits and pieces ever since its announcement nearly 5 years ago, but it's been mostly kept under wraps considering that it's been pushed back and delayed and still does not have a concrete release date. Given all that, this game has gotten quite a bit of coverage, and many fans can't wait to get their hands on it. But I'm here to tell you today why I think it's a good idea not to buy this game at launch, if at all. I mean, it's no secret that people are very excited. After all, these are the makers of the critically acclaimed Skyrim and Fallout 4. But I think people are starting to forget the type of company Bethesda is, and the type of things Bethesda has been known to do to try to get as much money out of their player base as possible. I believe their marketing tactics have been nothing short of egregious, as when we talk about things like the Atom Shop or the Creation Club, or God forbid their handling of Fallout 76 and Nuka-Cola Dark, we start to get a clearer picture of what Bethesda really looks like. If you don't know, the Creation Club is a service in which Bethesda charges you quite a lot of money, relatively speaking, for mods on their games. These mods are either typically free on Nexus, or they don't offer anywhere near enough value to justify their price tags. Or how about the Atom Shop, the store in Fallout 76 where they charge even more money for cosmetics, or repair kits, which rather than a pay to win, is a pay to make the game less grindy and miserable to play. Or how about Fallout First, a subscription model that's $100 a year and offers little more than basic quality of life that should be in the main game and a handful of atoms to use in their stupid Atom Shop. Now even at their worst, most greedy pitches, these are mostly ignorable things that don't really affect the quality of the games. However, it doesn't end there. They have another handful of practices that are downright insulting, such as the immediate and severe price cuts to Fallout 76 just 2 weeks after launch, and the denial of refunds until the overwhelming public outcry. I was unfortunately one of the poor suckers that paid $60 for this game, which can now be found online for next to nothing. How about the Canvas Bag incident, which was blatant false advertising, or the Nuka-Cola Dark incident, which was yet another poor product after advertising a premium one. Not to mention the poor quality game that was Fallout 76 that I can make an entire video about, and yes, it still has fundamental flaws even after all the updates. Now you might notice a lot of these examples are from Fallout 76 because yeah, that was Bethesda's biggest train wreck to date. But people often fail to realize is that this is nothing new. Think of the horse armor incident back in the Oblivion days, a microcosm of what was to come in the future. Or think of Skyrim Anniversary Edition, yet another re-release of Skyrim, which was seemingly harmless until you realize that all they added were community mods for yet another price tag, along with the fact that the Anniversary Edition broke the modding scene for even Skyrim Special Edition. I can't play my modded version of Skyrim Special Edition because of all the Anniversary Edition patches, and I haven't been able to since 2021. Now, I'm not the biggest modder, so I struggled to mod the game in the first place. So imagine my frustration when I tried to fix the issue that Bethesda caused. Eventually, I just gave up. I couldn't do it. All of this aside, the big issue I have with Starfield is the track record of the other games BGS has made. And I'd like to add that this territory is a bit opinion-based, but still very important. So do keep that in mind. Let's put 76 aside for a moment and talk about Bethesda's 4 other most recent games. And one thing I'd like to highlight is how much these games have been dumbed down with each subsequent release. Ever since Oblivion onward, BGS has been stripping core RPG elements from their games and replacing them with more streamlined ones, such as the removal of the class system or the skill system, or the addition of tagged essential NPCs, just to name a few. I'm not saying that these games are bad, because I love all of them in their own respective ways, but ever since I've taken a more critical look at these games, I've realized that many of the complaints of Fallout 76 were nothing new. To put it simply, I think Bethesda games are good open world looter shooters, and as RPGs, I think they are very bad. I mean, think about how many people mod out the openings to Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim. These openings are not so great to sit through for the first time, and god awful to sit through in any future playthrough. Not to mention the dumbed down gameplay as time goes on, such as removing many of Oblivion's combat mechanics in Skyrim and Fallout's condition system, only to be re-added later when it fit their stupid grindy repair kit marketing scheme. And on top of all of that, again, this is stating my opinion, whoever wrote these games has no idea how to write a role-playing game. There is almost no room for character deviation, especially with the voice protagonist in Fallout 4. It's either be the good guy or be the fucking boogeyman. This is not what Fallout is about. Now, Elder Scrolls can kinda get away with this a little because there's a constant motif of destiny, which is fine, but the truth of the matter is that these restrictions of follow our cookie-cutter, boring good guy quest we've laid out for you is just not that fun in these games. And it especially feels demeaning when you try to kill a character you you think is obnoxious, only for the game to tell you, no, you can't do that. I mean, Christ, Morrowind lets you mess up your save file by killing essential characters and making it impossible to progress, which I think is really neat in that sort of game, making it immersive and more consequence-filled. And as a sidebar, Fallout 76 actually re-added a pretty good RPG dialogue system later as an update. Unfortunately, the characters you interact with are also written with whatever stupid narrative the game wants the player to follow, so this system falls flat, not by design, but just by the lack of its proper use. Anyway, I digress. These games have been filled with dumb content that detracts from the game more and more as time has gone on, and I feel that Starfield will be no different, if not worse. Not to mention that these games have all been buggy, game-breaking messes at some point or another, and sometimes these bugs never got addressed at all, and they were like this at launch. I really want Starfield to be good. I really do. But knowing Bethesda's track record with these games and shady business practices really leave me thinking it won't be. And that's a shame, since I've really enjoyed some of Bethesda's other titles. By the way, Bethesda Game Studios and Bethesda Softworks are two different things. BGS is a developer while Softworks is the publisher. Some of the other studios, like id and Arcane under Bethesda's umbrella, makers of Doom and Dishonored respectively, do amazing work, and I love playing and supporting their games. But these practices by Bethesda and BGS are just awful, and I can't justify buying a game blindly at launch, especially when they have this repeated pattern of dodgy quality in their games. So if you're thinking about or planning to buy Starfield, I'm not saying that you can't, because if it's something you really want and will enjoy, I understand why you'd go and buy it. But if you're still thinking about it, I'd ask you to reconsider and do this instead. Wait for the hype to die down and listen to reviewers. Which, by the way, won't be given the game early due to a Bethesda practice implemented a few years ago in order to protect the pre-order sales of their games. Anyway, again, listen to reviewers. I guarantee you this game will get a significant price cut within the first year. Every modern Bethesda RPG has in the past. And I want to hear what game critics have to say before I even think about purchasing this game. From now on, Bethesda will have to prove to me through quality that their titles are worth playing, which I have a hunch isn't going to happen. Fallout 76 was just too big of a burn to leave on the fan base. Until then, Starfield is just looking like it's going to be a No Man's Sky clone with poor writing, and I encourage everybody to rethink their purchase of Starfield because I don't think that these practices are acceptable. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think I'm being too critical on these games and BGS as a whole, or do you agree with me in my decision to skip this entry in the Bethesda game lineup? Or have you never even played a Bethesda game and this is all news to you? I mean, I'd love to know where you're coming from in the comments. Whatever you think, just know that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and you are not wrong for feeling the way you do, whichever way it is. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I do hope to see you next time on the channel. Bye-bye, everybody!